First half hour also, I have a very special guest. Someone I would call, I would, in my own biased fashion, would maybe call him Father of the Century. Um, he's laughing. But what we're going to do, we're going to get a word from our sponsors, Rams, Flow, and TDC, and we'll come back with today's edition of Voices.
When they start them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no drink, we are shell down hard. Blast like a star with some gallopar. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man them. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine, for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
And once again, welcome to Voices. First half an hour, so I'm gonna spend some time with Enoite Inanga. Speaking about something that I think needs publicizing, in the sense of a parent affirming, enabling, empowering, and really loving his offspring, and doing all the things, doing all the very nurturing things that ideal parents would do. And I need to shut up. I'll let you I'll let you introduce yourself.
Man, it's been a while since I've been here. You know, the last time I was here was a long time ago, you know, with my show Only Good News, and I miss it. I miss all of you. I miss these listeners, all those who have been asking me, you know, when is your show coming back? It hasn't gone. It's just that now I'm being pulled in so many directions, and I can't afford to drop this ball and not make it as awesome as it's been. So it's still there. Just give me some more time. But yeah, I'm now a teacher, so that's taken a lot of my time. And with my parenting duties and my entrepreneurship duties and everything, it's just been a lot. But
before you go, you should tell them about that really nice show we used to have. I mean,
yeah, Only Good News, man. On Thursdays, you know, I would just talk about only good things that have happened, because I got so fed up of just seeing all the bad news that's going on in the world. I put on CNN and I just see just so much stuff that just doesn't really feed my spirit. It's not that these things don't happen, but I just had to choose good things over things that don't perturb my spirit. And my Facebook news feed does not really show me lots of bad stuff, because it knows I don't really like all the melee and all that kind of stuff. And so I said, you know what, that's something that I want to share with everybody. So, you know, for 2 years I had this, I think I ended up with 94 episodes. I tried to hit 100, but I never got that century. But it was on Thursdays from 7 to 8, and having guests from all over the world featured on the show, where we just have amazing conversations and fun stuff, you know, parody, skits, music, the whole works. And yes, it's not done. It's not done. It might evolve into something else, but you know, but I'm here.
And I just think, I thought that concept, that theme for a show, Only Good News, is an extension of you in the sense that it it represents the kind of mindset that you bring to parenting, the kind of parenting I've always observed in you.
Oh yeah, my parenting dynamic is heavily premised on positive reinforcement. My daughter doesn't hear lots of don'ts. She hears lots of do's. I over celebrate any little thing that she does that is of virtue, that is of value. If she's kind, I over celebrate that. If she's virtuous, if she's remorseful, all of these things that I want her to have in life. And now she's learning how to use the force of good to overcome things that are not so pleasant. The other day she's telling me, this person was trying to bully me. And I just told him, that's not the way to speak to me. And she says, even though they're bad to me, I still help them. And that's how I live. You don't return evil with evil. The force of good overwhelmingly can actually counteract the forces of evil if you're consistent and genuine with it. And that's how I live my life, and that's how she's being groomed to live. She's not going to yell back at you. She's going to stand up for herself, but at the same time, she's going to be kind. She's going to be respectful, and she's going to at the end of the day let an authority figure step in to help if need be. And so, yeah, just a lot of positive energy that I'm trying to create around her. And I've always said, when people leave from my presence, you have to feel empowered, you have to feel inspired, you have to feel motivated, you have to feel like I can do better and I will do better, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to create value for as many people as possible on this earth. I'm not here to chase wealth. In fact, I'm having a presentation later tonight for Michelina Charles Hazel's teachers who care about other teachers, this edupreneurship movement that's taking place where we're showing teachers that we care. And my topic is going to be on innovation through education leads to edupreneurship. And so I'm still working on it. But one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is the pursuit of value, not wealth. Because when you pursue value, the wealth will come in several ways other than just the monetary exchange for what you're trying to do. So,
So tell us a little bit about tonight before we move on.
Well, it's going to be at the OJ's Complex. It's $150 for a ticket. If you're a teacher, if you know someone who's a teacher who needs to be inspired towards being an edupreneur, who is a person who is a teacher who takes their skills and uses it to make money, right? And my presentation is really, I kind of played on the word innovation. I changed it up to be I, and open brackets, KNOW, I Novation. Because when you are in the know and when you're in love, then the edupreneur is born. Because teachers teach what they know. But then when you do something that you love and you're getting compensated for it, that's the perfect sweet spot, So right now I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a teacher, I'm an edupreneur, but I'm making money or making strides towards making an income based on what I love and based on who I am, who I know I am to be. I am quirky. I love children. I am creative. I am a musician. I think too much. All of these things. This is what I know and this is who I love. So I put both of them together and you can see all my exploits in the entrepreneurship industry are premised on all of these things. Right from when I was little, when I was a small boy, I knew sports, I knew play, I knew creativity, and I knew music. And everything that I've done has been based on that still from the time I was a little boy. So when you live your life absent from what you know and love, you're lost. It's like being in a relationship with somebody who claims to love you, but they don't know you. That's not a real relationship. And you can be in a relationship with somebody who knows you but doesn't love you. It's still not a real relationship. It's the same thing with yourself. When you're living your life, including the things that you know and love, then you found the right balance. So that's a little sneak peek of what's going to be happening later tonight. I hope that you guys are like, huh? What did you just say? Yeah, knowledge. Drop the mic.
Okay. So, in order to end anger, if you're just joining us now, No, you had introduced me to this creative exploit
Yeah.
that involved your daughter about a month, 2 months ago.
Yeah, about 2 months ago, man. This thing has been
And-
going on for what?
So tell us about that.
So, my daughter's school, Sky Academy, had this performing arts night. And coming up, this is like, they sent out like a notice, I think, months ago. And like, you have to audition if you want your child to be featured in an individual act. And my pride was like, listen, I'm not going to watch a show, a performing arts night, with just my daughter partaking in a group, a class rendition of something when we have all
Morning,
this talent.
dear. It's time to
between-
wake.
Jamstar, be careful, eh? Don't let the cat out the bag. So, so I said, you know what? I think I have to come up with something. She can't play the piano well enough because I haven't been I haven't been intentional with teaching her that, nor can she play the trumpet very well either because we just haven't done any work on it. But she's been around me in the Calypso arena. She's seen Calypsonians perform. She's seen me play for them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to write a Calypso for this one, for this little girl. But I did not know what to write. Didn't know how it was going to sound. And I kid you not, right up until the night before the audition, because I had 2 months to prepare, just didn't know what I was going to do. And I work under pressure, by the way. So I just sat down by the piano, scoped out the melody of the chorus, penned the lyrics, picked up the phone. I called my producer buddies. I called Gavin Charles. He didn't answer his phone. I called somebody else. Then I called Dijon Webb. He didn't answer his phone, but that night pigs flew because he called me back. Dijon called me back. I was like, Dijon, you call me back? Like, seriously? He said, what you need? I said, I got this song. Like, I need help. The audition is tomorrow. Just put down something. I played it out on the piano. I can't record. I don't have any recording media, but just show me, just do something with it. And he says, don't worry, I got you. I was like, wow. Dijon said, he got me. Like, what? And by the next day, the man produced a masterpiece. I was like, wow. And from then, I was like, and Adia heard the song and then heard the lyrics and she just sang it. Like, I taught her the song one time and she just got the song and she's like, oh my gosh, I love the song. At the time, the bridge and the second part of the song wasn't done, but that first verse, second verse was just like an eye-opener as to like, wow, that came from you and it came from her, through her and everything. And so I went ahead and thought that this can be big. It's a song to the theme, A Night at the Movies, which was the theme of the Performing Arts Night. And I wrote a song about Adia's adventures to the movies where she is seeing all these imaginative creatures that she's created through her art, through her drawings, on the way to the movies, and they're all coming along for the experience. And it's a story that you can feel as you listen to the song and want to be a part of it. And my goal, I'm unapologetically bold with this statement that this will become the movie song on a global scale for children to be singing when they're going to the movies, because the chorus talks about how you're excited to go to the movies. But not just that. Like I said, the first verse, the second verse, third verse, kudos to Mr. Webb. He did an amazing job. I had to then learn the hard way, the art of production, to bridge between the calypso side to the crazy side of my head, my brain, this melting pot of my musical exploits in jazz, classical music, Broadway, calypso, some South, everything. And I created the second part to it where I wanted the song to have global appeal. So it's not just going to be calypso, but you can hear little bits and pieces of my upbringing, my influence coming all together in the second half of the song. And it's a story, it's an experience, it's a happy song. It gets you moving, and I kid you not, like I tell everybody, and I just told Candy and what's his name, Candy and Azad. When you hear the song, it's not gonna come out your head. You're gonna want to keep singing it. And just the other day, we were at Dip Bay, and two guys were like, "Hey, weren't you and your daughter on the radio the other day? Like, yeah, we like your song. We can't get the song out of our head. Like, it's the same thing." So we're going to keep playing. We have big plans for it. We're actually going to animate, do an animation to this, the first animated video of this caliber. And we're pushing this. It's going to be Echo certified and everything. Is going to be on Spotify. It's all platforms for everyone to.
And all of this because of the love for your daughter.
Well,
so is it safe to say that this probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for your daughter?
She's the bridge. She's the glue. She's the everything. I won't be this
your
man.
muse almost.
She's everything.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm living through her to an extent, meaning I am creative, but not as creative as she is. So I would literally say, okay, could you create this?
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
no, I mean, me knowing you.
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
saying
as
a lot.
creative. I'm like, could you create this? And then she goes ahead, she takes the idea, develops it, and then it's cyclical. Then I come back, then I enhance it. And so now she is an entrepreneur. My daughter is telling me about what she wants to build, the people she wants to hire, how much we're supposed to pay them, and what we're going to do with the money to reinvest into the business. Well, I haven't even spoken about Stuffy on this. And everything is premised on the Stuffy brand, which is our digital creation business where we take kids' art and transform it into digital forms. And we rock them on merchandise. And
I remember just I remember just before me and you got close, right? Became close friends. When I was living in Greenlands, and I remember you a few times I met you. I think I was walking with my son too.
Yeah.
Or my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I met you a few times walking with your daughter, and I remember going back home and telling my wife, I said, it makes me look like a dog as a daddy. I mean, I said, I want to grow up, and I said, as far as daddies go, when I grow up, that's the kind of daddy I would like to be. I mean, you set the bar so high.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think I have a lot. I think I have a long way to go in terms of the type of father that I want to become. My daughter I can do a whole lot better. So I'm grateful for the affirmation and all of that kind of stuff. But
I mean, I told you that before, right?
Me personally, I can be better. I can do better. I can be more present. I can spend. When I say be more present, she spends a lot of time with me, but at the same time, the presence sometimes is lacking because I'm so overwhelmed with everything that I'm doing. So I haven't found that right balance yet. And thankfully, she's very understanding and very resilient, especially when I get very grumpy. And sometimes she may want a hug, and I'm like, I'm busy. And she doesn't take it personally. She just understands. And I shouldn't do that, but I'm human. Or when I'm just grumpy and snappy, so I'm not perfect by any means. I have a long way to go, and she deserves to get the best version of me, because the best version of me will give her the best version of who she's supposed to be. So thank you, but I have work to do.
I mean, if I had to scale it, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, you say you have more to do, so I'd probably give you a 7 or an 8. And me, I'd probably be like a 0.5 or something.
Nah, I'll give you between 5 and 6. If I become the father, it's the same thing with everything else. If I become the man that I know I'm supposed to be, then at the same time, I will never become that person. It's really the pursuit of being better at everything that you're trying to do. That's what life is about. So the moment I feel I've arrived, then that's when I have a problem with myself, and people should have a problem, because then I might be arrogant. Otherwise, I do have a lot of work to do, and that's it.
It just occurred to me that, in a sense, I mean, people talk about, like I tease you. Well, it's not really a tease. I tease you and I call you Renaissance man and stuff. But it just occurred to me that another part of that Renaissance man thing, you talk about someone who's creative, someone who's into the arts, he's into the sciences, is disciplined. Another part of that, I think another part of that is what you are as a parent. It just occurred to me.
Yeah, they're all connected.
So in a sense,
it's
yes.
all connected.
Yes, that's a big part of it, because I mean, take for example, I don't know if you've heard stories about Picasso. I mean, Picasso was a great painter, but by all accounts, he was a terrible person. He treated women like crap and stuff like that. So, I mean, it just occurred to me that I admire greatly for your parenting skills and your musical skills and your say your scientific skills, I guess, your engineering skills and all of that. So I think you've completed the Renaissance Man circle.
I'm not. Listen, I tell people. I told someone
That's
the
just
other
my
day.
opinion.
I told someone the other day. I said, listen, I'm a habitual failure. Like I fail often. I've failed, but at the same time, I'm not failing the same way twice.
But then I always told you as well. I mean, and you're doing it now. I always tell you that you're way too hard on yourself.
That's fine. That's where I need to be because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have that push to be even better. So I will be better. I will get there. I will get there one day. But this is not about me.
True.
This is all about what this little girl has been able to do. She has said in her own words, I want to inspire people. In her own words, I want to inspire people. I want to inspire the world. And with this song, I've told her, I said, you're going to change lives. You're going to change lives. So that's a perfect segue into...
So set up the song again. Just the
song.
name.
The Idea's Adventure to the Movies. And it starts with how she feels when she gets excited going to the movies.
So here we go.
Run it. Cup. You didn't start it from the top.
Guess what?
Start it from the top.
Daddy?
Okay. Jamster.
I don't want to get in trouble with you. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning, Adia. It's time to wake up.
What, Daddy?
We're going to the movies tonight.
Yay! Woke up this morning, saw my daddy. He said tonight we're going to the movies. I asked Daddy, what we gonna see? And he said it's a stuffy movie. I said yay to my daddy. Well, that was fun. Hi, this is Adia. I just want to encourage all of you to be creative. It will make you feel so good, like so excited, you know? Even if it's only stick drawing you can do. Just do whatever your imagination tells you to do. And your imagination can be transformed into something amazing. I can't wait to see what you create. So stay positive and creative. Bye!
Greetings. Those images along.
That's a wrap. We're so.
That was wow.
What you think?
What do I think? Do you know what I think? You really gonna ask that?
Big shout out to Black Sox Gavin Charles for mixing, mastering all this together. Big shout out to Ricky McCall for coming through on the guitar. My daughter was like, "The guitar's missing. I want live guitar. I want." This little girl like, she says, "Yeah, the guitar. I want a guitar on this track."
Yeah, so I'm very, you know.
You heard the live horns?
Yeah. You realize that kind of Disney-esque
everything
thing is
everything.
Make sure you copyright that. Huh?
It is. That's an echo. It's on the echo, man.
Especially that bit.
Yeah. That's what we used to sing when we go into the movies. Actually, when we were literally going to the movies, we literally just sing, we're going to. So I said, you know what? There's only one way to actually like immortalize that song that we made up years ago. Is put it in the song. And that's how I actually built it. So when I did the song at first, I didn't know that part was going to come in until like, wait, we need to put this in. And it has to sound like a big band orchestra, Broadway kind of feel, and you just see these cartoon characters just jumping up and down. And
I can imagine that motif being expanded into its own thing.
Of course.
For precisely that purpose.
I know.
To pump up kids. Oh, we're going to see the new Disney movie or the new this or the new that.
But the stuffy movie, yeah.
Yeah,
the
stuffy movie.
Yeah, that's it. We're making it. We're actually making it. So the first thing we're doing is just planting the seed with this animation that we're doing. And it's going good.
I am very, 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 very impressed. You were telling me about some plans you had for that piece. Did you do any research about? You talked about competitions and so on. Did you?
Yeah, man. It could work once everyone is happy with that endeavor. Then that's a bit tongue in cheek at this point. It is. Yeah, it could work once everyone's happy. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Okay.
What y'all doing again, man?
I don't know. My phone is doing some crazy stuff, so I just had to turn it off.
Yeah. So there you have it. You guys can play it as much as you want. This is the second station it's on, and we're gonna keep doing our media rounds.
So are you still thinking about possibly making yourself available for arrangements for?
Oh, that's happening, man.
Calypso artists and so on?
Yeah, actually, I do have about 5.
Really? Already?
Five themes,
themes.
ideas, right?
Okay.
I just need, once I finish with teaching, then I go straight into production mode, and I'm just gonna create, because I can't be a part of I can't complain about something if I can't be a part of the solution. That's me, right? So I find that Calypso needs to be a lot more melodic. We need to get a little bit more creative, where you can just listen to the song without even hearing the lyrics and just actually want to just keep listening to it. That's what I created with this particular song. Without my daughter singing on it, I still just like to listen and vibe to the song because it just appeals to me. And so I think I have about 5 ideas that I can, basically like flesh out and put some meat onto it. And hopefully the Calypsonians this year would have a little bit more variety to pick from.
That's actually an idea that that's one thing that's always bugged me about some of our calypso. And you're right, because I remember when you came by me and you played the music and without melody and anything, and the music alone was very evocative and very
Yep.
very engaging, you know. And I mean, that's halfway to a great composition. I mean, if you hear the accompaniment and the orchestration and the overall arrangement, and it's already engaging you even without the melodic and lyrical overlay.
Yeah, that's who I am.
Yes,
that's going to be my signature. So anytime I do choose to create, that's how you're supposed to feel. You know, I'm not the best. I'm still learning. You know, my chops are not as strong as someone like Gavin or Dijon, but you know, I'm influenced and motivated and inspired by these greats who have been around in terms of their production. Like they just amazing how they can just take a concept and just
and turn it into more than the sum of its its parts,
I mean,
you know?
oh my gosh, I've seen it happening in front of my eyes. I'm just like, how did you guys do it? Thankfully, my back was against the wall in this case. I was able to pull out some, and some of those parts you hear me playing were done till 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I couldn't sleep. You understand? I'm hearing a musical theme, an idea, and I'm like, I am not going to sleep until I get this done. Out the way. And after that's done, I can't get that creative energy anymore for that particular part of the song, because it either comes and you use it or you lose it. That's how this creative process is.
It's like you're in the zone.
Yes,
and the zone has to payoff. You have to have the payoff.
Yes, it's the same. I mean, and I lost a hit a couple of weeks later where I was hearing a particular hit in my head and I forgot to just sit down and just whistle it out or whatever. And I can't get it back. I can't get it back at all. It's upsetting me till this day, because I knew if I had put that to music, that's a done deal. But it's okay. More will come.
Okay. Well, you know, it's the 40th anniversary of independence. I imagine your calypso and musician chops might be needed even before December, because I imagine they may have a calypso competition or something along those lines. So it's possible. You know, like I said, your chops might be needed before let's say before November, because usually November is when you guys start
rehearsing. Yeah.
So
once there's value to be created, money to be made, I'll be there.
Yeah. Enoite inanga.
That's
okay.
a wrap.
I give you the last word.
The last word is, you know, I'm so excited to go to the movies, and so excited. Play it for your kids. Play it often as you want on this radio station. Let the whole world get to know the song, and feel that little girl's energy. She can't wait to see what's going to become of this. And in that note, I'm going to class. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, an exemplary parent and an exemplary human being, Enoite Inanga. It's 11:37, and I'm going to be taking your calls on whatever topic you want for the rest of Voices. So just join me on the other side. I'll throw out a few stories that we may or may not want to discuss, but open mic right after the break. Coming right back as we hear from our sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
You hear that? That's unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging with Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plan.
Music to my ears. I can do everything in it.
Yep, all you want. Have endless fun when you activate a 7-day plan for just $25. Enjoy 10 gigs of endless data for all your pics, GIFs, stickers, voice notes, voice calls, docs, and even video calls. Do all you want with unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging on Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plans. Switch to Flow today. Conditions apply.
So check it out.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality.
20 minutes until 12 o'clock, and our Voices is back. And it's Jams is sitting in for Devon Cornelius, who couldn't make it today. And as I had said, the phone lines are open, and you can call me and speak on whatever topic you may like. So let's go to the phone lines. Okay, so it looks like that was maybe a phone misfire. So, like I was saying, just give us a call at 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989. There was a story that was brought to my attention by a staff member here. This story concerns... okay, let's go to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Johnson.
Oh, hey, good morning.
I was trying so hard to get in when United was still with you, because I was very impressed with his daughter's singing. You know, did United compose that piece himself, the song?
Yes, he did.
Is he still with you?
He did, yes.
No, is he still at the station with you?
No, he left.
Oh, I so wanted to talk with him, but I couldn't get through. I was trying hard to get through. Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to I wanted to congratulate him on all the things he's doing with that daughter.
Yes.
She's fantastic.
Yes.
How old is she now?
In Oite? Oh, the daughter. I think she's about 9 or so. 8 or 9.
Yeah. Okay. Because I figured she was somewhere around there. You know, I know her, but I know she'd been drawing, but I didn't know she's been singing now. And
yes.
She really did a very good job just now.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry I missed him.
Okay. I'll pass along the message. I'm sure he's listening.
Yes.
I think he told me he had to go to a class. Yes. Okay, Miss Wall.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, great. Okay, so I was having a little audio issue there with the phone line. I don't know what's going on. Okay, seemed to be affecting my mic. So we go back to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air.
Greetings, brother.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I am good. I am pricelessly blessed. And what's up with you?
I'm good as well.
Good thanks. We want to echo what Auntie Pam just said, you know, and we want to wish Princess and King all the best. Yeah, you see, creativity is a priceless gift. Yeah. And we give thanks for who, you know, embrace it, recognize the gift and embrace it, and carry it to the unlimited level. It's all about excellence, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, give thanks. Well, we'll go and listen to the program and see how the information flow forward there and see if we can get in again. All the best.
Okay, same to you.
Blessed love.
Okay, great. Yes, always good to hear from the elder, you know. Okay, so I was saying you can send me your calls at 4660989, 7620989, and 6620989. I just saw a joke here. I can't read it, but I won't read it. It's pretty funny. It's a joke. Someone sent me a text based on my rating as a dad compared to Enoite. I mean, I gave Enoite a 7 or 8, and I gave myself a 0.5. But someone is saying, no, you're being modest. Maybe a solid 2. But okay, I'll take it. 2 is better than half, right? So give me a call at 4660989, 7620989, and 6620989. I did have a voice note earlier, and someone was talking about. I actually didn't even get to finish listening into it, but the gist of the voice note was in reference to the hail that we experienced last year, and his point was that ever since he was a kid, there have been incidences of hail, and he's wondering if all of that is still part of the climate change that we've been told about for all these decades. So that's an interesting question. Let's go back to the phones. Voices, you're on the air. Hello. Okay, we seem to be having some issues with the phone line. So as soon as you guys feel like calling, you can give us a call at 4660989, 6620989, and 7620989. And maybe at this point I should take a break and let's hear from our sponsors, Rams, Floor, and TDC, and I'll come back and take your calls on any topic you may like. And I'll also throw out a few issues, maybe news items that might generate discussion, that might maybe things our listeners might want to talk about.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
When the star them there, we a top man, we take charge. Have no reaching go, we a shell down hard. Blast like a star in some gallopar. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We a hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man then. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine, for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company, TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company. Together we succeed, building our strong community, pressing onward to our destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
It's 11 minutes until 12 o'clock, and we're back with the first half of Voices. It's basically open mic, open format today. You can call and speak, comment on any topic of your choice. Some of the items in the news that might pique your interest. And this was the story that was drawn to my attention by a staff member around 6:30 a.m. on May 28, 2021. It's funny that this story has just been coming to light, but I guess I am assuming the Trinidad and Tobago authorities were doing their due diligence. So on May 28, 2021, a couple of miles from Bell Garden Beach on the Caribbean island of Tobago, a narrow white and blue boat drifted onto the horizon. As it wobbled back and forth, fish gathered, feeding on the barnacles that had grown below the surface. From a distance, it seemed no one was aboard, but as fishermen approached, they smelled death. Inside were the decomposing bodies of more than a dozen black men. No one knew where they were from. Yes, my phone is doing a lot of weird stuff. I don't understand what's going on. I'm here reading an article, and then my phone just decides to so I was saying, inside were the decomposing bodies of more than a dozen black men. No one knew where they were from, what brought them there, why they were aboard, and how or why they died. No one knew their names. What is clear now, but wasn't then, is this. 135 days earlier, 43 people were believed to have left a port city across the ocean in Africa. They were trying to reach Spain's Canary Islands off Africa's northwest coast. They never arrived. Instead, they ended up here on the other side of the Atlantic, half a world away. Their families were looking for them. For nearly 2 years, the Associated Press assembled the puzzle pieces from across 3 continents to uncover the story of this boat and the people it carried from hope to death. The vessel that reached Tobago was registered in Mauritania, a large and mostly deserted country in northwest Africa, nearly 3,000 miles away. Evidence found on the boat and its style and color as a typical Mauritanian pirogue suggested that the dead were likely African migrants who were trying to reach Europe but got lost in the Atlantic. In 2021, at least 7 boats appearing to be from Northwest Africa washed up in the Caribbean and in Brazil. All carried dead bodies. These ghost boats, and likely many others that have vanished, are in part an unintended result of years of efforts and billions of dollars spent by Europe to stop crossings on the Mediterranean Sea. That crackdown, along with other factors such as economic disruption, economic disruption from the pandemic pushed migrants to return to the far longer, more obscure and more dangerous Atlantic route to Europe from Northwest Africa via the Canaries instead. Arrivals on the Atlantic route jumped from 2,687 in 2019 to more than 22,000 2 years later, according to Spain's Interior Ministry. The sea conditions there are extremely harsh, she said. This is a minister from Spain's Interior Ministry. In 2021, at least 1,100 people died or disappeared trying to reach the Canaries, according to the International Organization for Migration, the dead list on record. But that's likely a fraction of the real death toll. The men in the Tobago boat, for example, are not included in this number. Now, I read this story, and the fact that the fact that the staff member pointed this out to me, it's a very affecting story. And we've been hearing all these stories, all these news items about Africans and people of other nationalities so desperate to escape their lives of misery and want that they're prepared to risk their lives, in this fashion, crossing deserts, crossing seas, brazing rainforests teeming with poisonous snakes and all this, poisonous snakes, disease. I mean, we know, for example, South and Central Americans have braved the Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is that area between Colombia and Panama. People from Venezuela have crossed Colombia and have crossed the dangerous Darien Gap, all in an effort to get to the United States border. And we're talking about thousands of miles, because the Darien Gap is just to the south of Panama. So it's that area where you go from Colombia and you're traveling sort of northwest to north, and you have to traverse that area to get to Panama, and then you have to get through Panama, and then you and all of this entails deprivation, lack of sleep, thirst, hunger, the danger of wild animals, things like jaguars and poisonous snakes, mosquitoes. And people are willing to do all of this to get to a better life. And that means whether they're from Africa, they're from the Americas, some of the more destitute and let's say problem-torn countries in the Americas, Venezuela, Guatemala, Nicaragua, many other countries. And people are prepared, be they African or American, and by American I mean the Americas, because Americans from the USA don't have exclusive rights to the word American, by the way. So yes, what is causing people to, basically risk their lives, and in many cases actually lose it for a better life? And it's something that needs to be discussed, and something that maybe less lip service needs to be given to, and more solutions put in effect. Caller, go right ahead.
Greetings again, Forward Bay.
Hey.
I'm to the sharing, my brother. Sad sharing, but we have to just deal with it, Don't ask that question. We know why it is happening. We see how the world around. You see me? Many have nothing and a few have everything. It's not level. So, and you're right. People of our nationality and others, and even those who are not of our nationality, it is the same struggle. Bread and butter struggle. Basic necessities. Scarce. You see me? So, we want to say and echo what Ras Bob Marley's son singing right now. It is time for the struggle to end. We do have to question what is causing the struggle. It is the way the world system set. The economic reality of the masses. The masses all over the world are dwelling in dire poverty. It's like a color, but it merely with we. Whilst a few in the earth have it abundantly, no sir, earth supposed to run. And it is time for the struggle to end by will or by force. Malcolm X said by the ballot or the bullet. It is time for nature going to be on the side of those who are down pressed. The whole of nature, all of nature, earthquake, thunder, lightning, everything, fire, brimstone, love, call it, is going to be on the side of the poor and the needy. And those don't press. If I want to include, we're not talking outside and nothing. No, it's part of the masses, part of suffering, struggling people. We are in the kitchen feeling the heat. We knows it. We live it. People wasn't created to live the way most people of the 8 billion in the earth living, merely existing because of greed, etc. It is time for the struggle to end.
You know, I like what you said about, I like the way you put it. You said bread and butter issues at the heart of you know, these sad incidents.
It is.
And, yes.
Food, clothes, and shelter. It is. Everybody's superb, everybody's human. So where this come from? You see animals and birds and fishes and living like this? Huh? It is just mankind.
And
we are saying that people who perpetuate this and cause the many to be in the hell that we are in, they should go to the earth. They should be born. Blessed love.
Yeah, blessed love. And you know, the ugly irony is, we're going to be going to the news in a few seconds. The ugly irony is where these refugees, let's call them that, the countries and continents they're coming from, basically the bread basket and the, let's say, they provide the lion's share of the purse for the wealthy elites of the world. So something is seriously broken where people are people are desperately leaving their countries of origin to get away from poverty. Meanwhile, these very same countries, like I said, are the literal and figural bread baskets for the wealthy elites of the world. But we'll continue this on the other side. We have headline news coming up next. And stay tuned.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribou.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive initiative on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the Win FM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown.
I am Devon Cornelius.
Our top stories.
The former Deputy Prime Minister concerned over upsurge in gun violence.
2 young men to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at International Music Camp. Department of Youth, Nevis kicks off Youth Month with a short film. Antigua and Barbuda's government officially seizes yacht believed to be owned by a U.S.-sanctioned Russian oligarch. Still in Antigua and Barbuda, schools remain shuttered after Easter break there because of industrial action staged by teachers. Internationally, an active volcano on Russia's remote Kamchatka Peninsula erupted for a second day, sending a 10-kilometer high plume of ash into the sky, and a hazard warning remains in place for airlines. Meanwhile, Somalia is suffering from the impact of a climate crisis it has done almost nothing to create. United Nations Chief Antonio Gutierrez said, as a full-blown famine threatens to follow a drought that killed 43,000 people in 2022. Now the details.
The Honorable Sean Richards, former Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, is expressing concern over the number of homicides recorded in the country to date. Richards was speaking during a live stream on the Facebook page of the People's Action Movement on Tuesday, April 11th, 2023.
If you look at April and we are at 9, then it means if the trend continues the next 4 months, then you're up to 18. And then the next 4 months, you add 9 to that, 20, that's what, 27. And so this isn't a trend that we want. We want to move away from this trend. The citizens of this country must feel safe in the country.
9 people have been murdered in St. Kitts and Nevis from January 11th to April 4th, 2023. 8 of these homicides are from gun violence and 1 is from a stabbing incident. Richards, who is the leader of the PALM, said,
"We are a principled party and we have always stood firm on our convictions. We have stood firm on our convictions, and one of our convictions is that the government must lead in terms of safety and security of its citizens."
Richards added,
"On the other hand, there's some persons who probably did not believe it, but now you see it unfolding before your very own drastic increase in the number of homicides. We warned you, we said to you that the government, the isn't serious about safety and security of the citizens of this country. And when you have labor high crime in the country, and now the crime once again is escalating. And so we are concerned.
The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, in a statement on April 4th, 2023, addressed the crime situation in the country. The statement said, quote, "It is with great concern that we address the recent upsurge in gun violence that has resulted in the tragic loss of lives. The safety and well-being of our residents are of utmost importance, and we are taking all necessary measures to address this situation. In collaboration with our national security agencies, the police have launched a full-scale extended special operation named Operation Reassurance to contain and suppress the violence. This operation is designed to specifically target those who are perpetrating these heinous acts and to bring them to justice. It will be multi-dimensional and jointly executed by the security forces to achieve our operational objectives," end quote.
Two young men from St. Kitts and Nevis will represent the Federation at the world-renowned International Music Camp in North Dakota. A Facebook post on the St. Kitts Department of Youth Empowerment's page shared the names of the two men, Jerome Isaac of the Washington Archibald High School, a 15-year-old vocalist.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars.
And 17-year-old musician Colin Norford Jr. of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College. Auditions were held in St. Kitts on April 3rd at Warner Park, where Isaac and Norford secured their spots. According to the Music Camp site, the International Music Camp Summer School of Fine Arts was founded in 1956 and offers various cultural studies for students and adults. The camp hosts a one-week summer camp program in dance, creative writing, painting, drawing, theater, and several other fine arts disciplines in June and July. An international youth cultural exchange program will be held in the summer of 2023 in North Dakota for music students between the ages 14 and 18, which covers the areas of band, musical theater, choir, piano, guitar, jazz band, vocal jazz, orchestra, and more. A staff of 150-plus artist teachers, internationally noted guest conductors, and outstanding clinicians from the United States and Canada provide instruction to students worldwide. April is Youth Month for Nevis, and the Department of Youth has released a full slate of activities for the month, which includes various Easter camps, Youth in the News, a poetry writing competition, a fun day, and more. The month started with a church service at the Shiloh Baptist Church on April 2nd, where the Minister of Youth, the Honorable Troy Liburd, the staff of the Department of Youth, from the Ministry of Education, Sports, et al., worshipped. Deputy Speaker in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Latoya Jones, expressed her excitement about the St. Thomas Parish Youth Excellence Award, which recognizes youth between 18 to 29 years of age for their performance and contribution in Nevis. She has awarded 12 young people in the last 2 years and looks forward to revealing the 2023 awardees. The theme for Youth Month 2023 is Inspired to Aspire, and using the theme, the Department of Youth substituted the traditional minister's address with a short film featuring the Minister of Youth on Nevis, the Honorable Troy Liburd. The film was an ode to youth and showed various capabilities of young people who are motivated and inspired to act.
Greetings, everyone, particularly you, the young people of Nevis. I am Troy Liburd, your Minister of Youth. I take this opportunity to send a huge shout out to all of you on the occasion of Youth Month 2023. Youth Month was born out of the desire to focus on the achievements of our young people and increase opportunities intending to benefit our youthful population. It also brings to awareness the issues faced by our young people and find solutions to these challenges. This year, young people are encouraged to take initiative by leading activities that will increase their level of productivity and growth. We are also mindful, however, that our young people are more motivated to act when they feel inspired. For this reason, this year's Youth Month theme is Inspire to Aspire. I take a moment to salute the staff at the Nevis Department of Youth for their continued effort to uplift our young people. I encourage everyone to support the exciting activities outlined in the action-packed calendar of events for Youth Month. My ministry is committed to providing meaningful opportunities to our young people as they are propelled to assume leadership roles, become responsible producers within our society, and pursue their passions. Inspire to aspire.
According to the Department of Youth, Mr. Erlian David of Skyshan Digital produced the video. In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda's government officially seizes yacht believed to be owned by a U.S.-sanctioned Russian oligarch. Still in Antigua and Barbuda, schools remain shuttered after Easter break there because of industrial action staged by teachers. Those reports and more from Carib Update.
A luxury yacht, the Alpha Nero 267-foot vessel stranded in Antigua for more than a year with an absentee owner, has now been officially seized by the Antiguan government. It was claimed that the yacht had belonged to a Russian oligarch who was under sanction by the United States. Port Authority Manager Darwin Telemark handed the official notice of seizure and possession to the crew after meeting with the crew's lawyers on Tuesday. Telemark spoke on Wednesday morning on what is next.
Once the sanction is removed, we're going to implement the auction/sale, whichever one and that will not run for a very long period. We're going to have a short period. We're going to find someone who has the money. That person has to meet the due diligence clearance. They are going to be vetted. And once that person is cleared and the funds are available, they will get possession. They will take over the responsibility of the vessel, and the Treasury will receive whatever monies are generated from the sale of that asset.
The opening of schools in Antigua and Barbuda after the Easter holidays has been delayed amidst the specter of industrial action by the teachers' union there. Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers signaled its intention to take industrial action from the middle of the month over the failure to reach a deal on long outstanding salary increases. In announcing the delayed reopening of school, the Ministry of Education said they will work with the unions to arrive at what it described as an acceptable position. Officials say schools will remain closed for another week. General Secretary of the Antigua and Barbuda Teachers Union, Sharon Kelsick, said they ran out of patience.
But we have to, at some point, take a stance. When we wanted to strike last year, October, we threatened the strike action. They asked us to be patient. We called up our strike action. In January again, we threatened strike action. They asked us to be patient again, which is how the meeting on February 13th came about. We met with the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister at the time, Honorable Cedric Cutie Benjamin. He instituted the March 31st deadline. So we were patient. We went back to our membership. We asked them to just be patient again. I can't keep asking people to be patient when they've been waiting 6-7 years to get their money, when they do not have a collective bargaining agreement that speaks to the current environment that they have to exist in. I cannot do that.
Barbados' CARICOM ambassador, David Commission, welcomes a statement from Buckingham Palace that King Charles takes a new research project looking into the British royal family's connection to slavery, profoundly seriously in a significant new statement on Thursday. The palace issued a statement after it was contacted by the Guardian newspaper following the news organization's discovery of a document from the Royal African Company, which at one point held a monopoly in the British slave trade, showing a transfer to King Williams III in 1689. On Tuesday, Commission told Carib Update News that he was pleased with the signal by King Charles.
It seems to me that Prince Charles is trying to set a positive example for his government. Now we have to, I know many people have taken him to task that he's not gone far enough. He has been criticized for not coming out with a formal apology, etc., etc. But we have to remember that he is a constitutional monarch. He's not an absolute monarch.
Commission noted that the British government up until now has been largely dismissive of claims by former colonies for reparations. He said the position of the government would limit what Prince Charles could advocate.
The royal family has to be very careful, especially the monarch, the head of state, that he does not run ahead of the government and does not engage in statements or actions that actually contradict the policy of the government. So I think, and you know, we can't be sure, but we have to look at a person's actions and try to analyze.
We now bring you these international reports.
A volcano on Russia's remote Kamchatka Peninsula kept erupting on Wednesday. It sent a plume of ash 6 miles into the sky, a scientific institute reported, and a hazard warning remains in place for airlines. Shiveluch, one of Russia's most active volcanoes, first began erupting just after midnight on Tuesday. At its peak 6 hours later, it sent an ash cloud over an area of nearly 42,000 square miles. It was the deepest covering in 60 years. In Kliuchi, the nearest village to the volcano at 30 miles away, residents were ashed in to their homes. Vera Mayorova said the ash lay 5 inches thick.
The roads are completely terrible. It's very difficult to take the kids to kindergarten. Pupils at schools are studying from home. It's impossible to walk outside because of the ashfall.
There have been no reports of casualties, though experts expect further, less intense eruptions in the coming days. Kamchatka extends far into the Pacific Ocean, northwest of Japan, and about 300,000 people live there. Around 24 hours after the volcano began erupting, a 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Kamchatka, which scientists said was an aftershock from an earthquake on April 3rd. Shiveluch's last major eruption happened in 2007. It's had about 60 substantial eruptions in the past 10,000 years.
Somalia is suffering from the impact of a climate crisis it has done almost nothing to create. That's according to United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres speaking on Wednesday, as a full-blown famine threatens to follow a drought that killed 43,000 people last year. Some 8.3 million Somalis, almost half the population, require urgent humanitarian assistance, Guterres said.
The 2023 humanitarian response plan, which seeks $2.6 billion, is just 15% funded. When famine looms, this is totally unacceptable. The international community must step up and dramatically increase the volume of funds to support Somalia in this moment of difficulty.
He was speaking after visiting a camp in Baidoa, southwest Somalia, for people displaced by the drought and by fighting between Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda affiliate, and government forces.
It is unconscionable that Somalis who have done almost nothing to create the climate crisis are suffering its terrible impact.
After 5 consecutive failed rainy seasons, the droughts displaced 1.4 million Somalis, with women and children making up 80% of them, he said. The Integrated Food Security Phase classification, which sets the global standard for determining the severity of a food crisis, said last December that famine had been temporarily averted, but warned the situation was getting worse.
Beijing's skyscrapers are hidden behind a haze of dust as air quality plummets this week. A sandstorm earlier in the week brought severe pollution to the capital.
I think this sandstorm is definitely bad to my health, but I'm not overreacting to it. What I can do is just to wear a mask.
The Chinese capital is home to 21 million people. This is the 8th sandstorm to hit the city this year. The Beijing Ecological Environment Monitoring Center says the air quality index has reached levels that are hazardous to human health. Some residents told Al Jazeera they are carrying on with normal activities, but also being cautious.
I felt the impact from the sandstorm, but it is very limited. We don't see this sandstorm too often. Just make sure you have proper protection and you will be fine.
The sandstorm started in Mongolia and swept across China, blanketing cities in dust and disrupting traffic.
When I got back from work last night, I think the air pollution increased and I felt uncomfortable breathing. When I came out this morning, I put my parka hood on because I think my body smells like dust, and I brought a thicker mask.
Yellow dust from the storms also reached Japan and South Korea, causing haze and poor visibility. China's air quality has improved in recent years due to stricter environmental regulations on factories. But sandstorms are a common springtime occurrence for Beijing because of its proximity to the Gobi Desert and deforestation in the north of the country. Conditions have begun to ease, but more heavy winds and storms are forecast for later in the week. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera.
Now, we must mention the pair of sneakers. They were worn by the basketball legend Michael Jordan. They've sold for more than $2 million, setting a record price for game-worn sports shoes. The basketball champion last wore these trainers in 1998. Nomia Iqbal explains how the shoes came to be under the auctioneer's hammer.
These sneakers are known as bread, which refers to the fact that they are black and red in style. It's the style that Michael Jordan was known for wearing throughout his career. And he had these shoes on during Game 2 of the 1998 NBA Finals, and it was on his way to Game 6 and what would be the last NBA championship title for him. Now, they had been gifted by the basketball legend to the visiting team's locker room's ball boy. Now, we don't know who sold the sneakers, we don't know who bought them, but what the auction house did say, they described them, just to give you the quote, the shoes, which have his name in silver ink on each toe, as immaculate and pristine, consistent with use. Now, it's worth mentioning that Michael Jordan actually broke his own record when it comes to selling shoes 2 years ago in September, where his sneakers went for $1.5 million, and he's been collaborating with Nike ever since the 80s. But the brand has really grown massively, largely driven by his successful Netflix documentary, The Last Dance. The trainer industry, or the shoe industry, the sneaker industry, it's really tripled in the last 10 years. And now, according to a lot of statistics, it accounts for almost half of global footwear sales. And I did a documentary on this a couple of years ago and spoke to Bobito Garcia. He was and is seen as someone who was probably the first to talk about the phenomenon of the sneaker industry.
On one side, they're really functional. They're comfortable to wear. They look cool. They're an extension of your individuality. You can become creative with them. You can paint them. You can customize them. You can own them, right? So that's one pocket. The other pocket is that sneakers in and of themselves have been placed in the same way that people approach art.
And that's really the point that Garcia has made there, that sneakers are seen as art. And during the course of doing that documentary, I spoke to loads of people who said that they were prepared to pay that much money for sneakers, which they see as collectibles. So really, the price that Michael Jordan's sneakers have gone for today, it's likely that they will get even higher as the years go on.
I'm sure they will.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
The former Deputy Prime Minister concerned over upsurge in gun violence.
2 young men to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at International Music Camp. Department of Youth, Nevis kicks off Youth Month with a short film. Antigua and Barbuda's government officially seizes yacht believed to be owned by a U.S.-sanctioned Russian oligarch. Still in Antigua and Barbuda, schools remain shuttered after Easter break there because of industrial action staged by teachers. Internationally, an active volcano on Russia's remote Kamchatka Peninsula erupted for a second day, sending a 10-kilometer high plume of ash into the sky, and a hazard warning remains in place for airlines. Meanwhile, Somalia is suffering from the impact of a climate crisis it has done almost nothing to create, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres said, as a full-blown famine threatens to follow a drought that killed 43,000 people in 2022. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
It's 12:34 and we're back with Voices, the second half of Voices. That takes us up to 1:30, just about 1 hour. And the sponsor for the second half of Voices is Hospits. We'll get a word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, and come back and take your calls. Don't forget, anything is, any topic is fair game. So give me a call at 466-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989.
King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas, announces king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts. We have the best service and competitive rates on LCL and FCL cargo, including D&E containers, cars, heavy equipment, buses, boats, and barrels from Miami to St. Kitts. LCL pickup service anywhere in the U.S. Call local agents SL Horseman & Company Limited at 869-465-4086 or 869-662-5008 for further details. King Ocean's king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts Nevis. King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas.
And we're back. It's 12:36, and we're back on Voices. So just letting our listeners know once again that anything is fair game this afternoon. So you can give me a call on any topic, anything in the news that may have piqued your interest, a comment, maybe even a question, observation, so on and so on. Just give me a call and we can talk about those. Now, let's see. There were a few other news items I wanted to bring to the attention of the public. Just a few things that I thought I would mention. Now there was an incident that occurred with the Dalai Lama. That's the you could say the spiritual head of the Buddhist philosophy. I don't like to call it a religion because technically it's not a religion. It's a philosophy. The Dalai Lama got in some trouble with. There was an incident with a young boy, and based on the story I read, it seems as though perhaps the Dalai Lama was misunderstood, and what happened was misconstrued. It was basically some kind of cultural misunderstanding. Apparently, there was a little boy that met him, and he supposedly said to the little boy, "Suck my tongue," but apparently it was intended as a joke, because apparently that's part of the culture, because apparently when he said this to the little boy, everyone that was around started to laugh. it was not intended as this pedophilic thing as some outlets were spinning it. Apparently, it was just a misinterpretation of a cultural quirk. So there's that one thing. We all know the outrage industrial complex is always raring and ready to go with accusations of impropriety and all these other unsavory accusations that usually come when I don't want to say when people have too much time on their hands, but sometimes you would think that there might be better things to be getting outraged about. And another story I thought was interesting because I was kind of, I was as far as Donald Trump's chances in 2024, I was really wondering if you're going to tell me that people are going to actually vote for this guy after everything he's done? Well, not so fast. Apparently, there was a poll that came out yesterday that shows that Trump is falling into fringe candidate territory after his arrest. So they're saying that I'll read a little bit of it for you guys. So it shows that he's not bulletproof after all. Support for former President Donald Trump fell rapidly after he was charged with 34 felony counts of business falsification in Manhattan last week. Despite Trump's repeated claims that the indictment could actually help him by boosting his support in the election, the poll found that a majority of Americans, 53%, believe he did something illegal. The poll also showed that 11% say he acted wrongly but not intentionally, while 20% believe Trump was not culpable at all. The former president last week pleaded not guilty to the charges brought against him by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg related to the hush money payments made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels in the final stretch of the 2016 presidential campaign. Now, we all know that any one of those offenses by themselves would have landed regular people in jail. I mean, here he is charged with 34 felony counts of business falsification in the Manhattan alone, and that has nothing to do with all the other stuff that he has pending, all the other stuff that's hanging over his head. And I wonder if the U.S. is becoming somewhat like some Caribbean territories where politicians are allowed to run rampant and run roughshod over laws and norms and basically accountability is absent for a lot of the things they may do, whether they be legal and questionable or whether they be illegal. And we see a lot of cases where politicians get away with things. I mean, get away with things in the Caribbean. And I don't want to say the Caribbean because I find that a lot of the other countries, Barbados, for example, maybe Trinidad, even Guyana to some extent, they seem to have a much more robust accountability architecture that sees to it that people in high positions may be forced to resign, or forced to at least face some kind of consequence for maybe questionable behavior, illegal behavior, unethical behavior. And we've been led to think up until fairly recently, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, you start to see this kind of rot creeping into the American system. Maybe the rot was there all along and we just weren't paying attention. But you always got the sense, maybe 10, 15 years ago, that you probably couldn't get away with the things that people would get away with in the Caribbean, probably. But now you see a former president, and it seems as though you get the impression that this whole idea that the former president is inviolable simply because he was a former president, as though he's some kind of deity. It's like, oh, how dare you accuse, indict, implicate the president in so and so. He was the president. He is the president. He was the president. As though that's enough to that's enough to preclude someone saying questionable things. And I've always had a serious problem with that. Especially, you get the sense with the Americans. I don't know if maybe it's just a Republican thing. You get the sense that perhaps the president is being held to a much let's say a much laxer standard than others are held to. In fact, it seems a lot of people would argue that money is a driving factor behind people being held to a low standard. When in fact, I think politicians should be held to a much higher standard. Politicians and public officials should be held to a much higher standard than they are at the moment. I mean, it's surprising to me that, for example, in the American system, that, for example, if Trump actually went to jail, he would actually be able to run for president from jail. And this is crazy to me. I mean, this has actually happened with regular folk. Regular folk have run for office from a prison cell. And while that might not be the same here, we have a lot of similar let's say dissonances when it comes to other things surrounding people attaining office with questionable morals and other questionable aspects of their beings, their persona, their character, and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I find it disturbing that, for example, in the U.S., the president is actually, it seems that just by dint of being president, that, oh, how dare you charge the president? I don't know, maybe that's just me. But like I said, if anyone wants to call on any topic, just give me a call. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Just thought I'd throw that story out there. There are a whole bunch of other stories that have come up over the months. I think this was on the WINNFM News yesterday. The Jamaica Gleaner was reporting that Prime Minister Patterson is among Caribbean leaders for State of the Black World Conference. And this story was posted 3 days ago. But the conference takes place in Baltimore, Maryland from April 19 to 23. And I think a new piece of information was announced this morning in that Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados was supposed to give the keynote, was supposed to be giving a speech as well. Yeah, I said the Institute has received confirmation that Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley will attend the conference as a special guest in addressing the conference, which is organized around the theme Global Africans Rising, Empowerment, Reparations, and Healing. Yes, so Mia Mottley is supposed to be speaking on reparations. And PJ Patterson, who I didn't realize was the longest, I think the article said that he He is the longest-serving prime minister in the history of Jamaica. I did not realize that. I could have sworn that would have been Michael Manley, for example. Let's go to the phone lines. Voices, you're on the air. Okay, let's go. Voices, you're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon.
Oh, hi.
How are you doing?
Oh, hi. I'm okay. How are you doing?
Hello?
Hey, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear. You not hearing me?
All right.
Yeah.
Now, good afternoon to all the listeners at home and abroad. Happy birthday to Sir Kennedy Simmons. Now, to the issue at hand. You're right, politics is a funny thing. Many of the Republicans don't really appreciate Trump. But the leaders of the party have convinced them that this is not just Trump. This is an attack on the party. And therefore, morals answer go through the door. And that is what we see in our political system. No matter how wrong, how devious, the party tend to close ranks around the offending person. And then the other people, the poor people, the minorities look on and wonder, where is justice? The things he says and get away with. He actually commits sedition, Well, if they arrest me and so we're going to have trouble, and you know what I mean?
Well, it's looking like it's going to be the opposite so far.
Eh?
It's looking like it's going to be the opposite. So
yeah, what I mean, before they charge him and so, he's making this other threat. I mean, the FBI, CIA, they would have been all over the person, a person of a lesser stature. And I say, boy, life is strange. They say money talks, money answers all things. But it's still interesting because there are some persons, even the one in Florida, who people saw as the alternative. He was forced to go and defend Trump. So we wonder where we going, where we are accustomed in the Caribbean. Once it is their party, our party as we say, we don't care what they do. And so people are allowed to do worse things. There's no accountability, So that is what I had to say. Because I follow it,
And to me, this is disturbing. That
I am telling you,
that you would elevate
close party ranks.
Yes.
Because it's your party. So what the person does, it doesn't matter. And they know, the 6th of January, a lot of them were hiding in the bunker. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Even that, when they started to charge him, some of those who were fearing for their life got up and were making statements. Lord help us, yeah? All right then.
Yes, that was a great way. And the thing about this is, there's actually pollster evidence to show that some of the Republicans, they know Trump is wrong. They know the things he's done, the things he said are inappropriate and unstatesmanlike. But it's all about owning the Democrats, all about owning the liberals, and they elevate that above right and wrong, basically. They know that he's terrible for the country, yet they may not even vote for him, but they will never admit to maybe pollsters or to, let's say, a Republican friend that Trump has ever done anything wrong. Voices, you're on the air.
Greetings forwardly, Nicola.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, go right ahead. I can hear you.
The lady said me credit soon, John.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Echo the greetings to Sir Kennedy Simmons. You predict me like me. Yeah, I'm more alive. Politics is a terrible, Westminster style politics is a terrible thing, Terrible thing. And the sooner mankind get rid of it, the better. The things that happening in the name of politics is unimaginable. But it is what it is until we get rid of it altogether. Blessed love.
Blessed love. Let's go to the phone lines again. Caller, okay. Call. Okay, so that caller, I think that caller may have hung up. I don't want to say prematurely, but I think sometime. Okay, here we go.
Your pleasant good afternoon, Brother Jamster.
Voices, you're on the air. Go right ahead. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you see, you're talking about what happened in the United States, right? And we're talking about people could do that and get it. That is the European culture that they impose on us. That's what I'm trying to show our people all the time. The reason why we got all these disrespect for one another in terms of the politics is because they put the culture on us. Now, you see now it's coming out in the United States and people can't believe it. That's the point I've been making all the time. We have a European culture. That's why we can't move forward as a people. So what I'm trying to show you, I'm glad these things is highlighted because as time go on, you see what I'm talking about. Trump could do as it. Nothing going to happen to Trump. Nothing is going to happen to Trump. What you're going to see, because those who storm the Capitol will storm it again. What is happening is fascism is rising in the imperialist world, and we have to be cognizant of what is going on. All of what I've been saying to our people will come to fruition because it's a European colonial culture that we have. They impose, they indoctrinated into us. And until we change as a people, what going to help us to change as a people is the oppression and the condition that is coming us from a global standpoint. Because capitalism is in a crisis and it's going to force our people to come together. So all I'm trying to show you, brother, history will absolve me. That's all I have to say.
But let me ask a question, though.
You want to ask a question?
Yeah, let me ask a question. You're talking about, you said history will absolve you, right? Do you consider the Russians as part of that fascist equation?
I didn't hear what you said. Say that again.
Do you consider the Russian, the Russian, you consider Russia as part of that fascist equation that you just...
No, I don't. Because you got to understand, the United States government overthrew the government in Ukraine in 2014. You could go on YouTube and see the clip where the ambassador to the EU was planning how to overthrow the U.S. government. Russia was forced into invading Ukraine because the United States wanted to colonize Russia. That is what the aim is.
The United States wants to colonize Russia, really?
Exactly. I got all the information I could show it to you. That's what they want. The main aim is China. Because China is a peer competitor. We got to understand what is happening and come out of this colonial syndrome that we're in. We have to face reality. African people have to unite. That's the only solution.
I mean, are you there, Kalonji? Okay, it looks as though he may have fallen out. But, I mean, you know, it's kind of alarming to me that there's so many people who actually seem to be pro-Russia. And trust me, I mean, I beat up on the Americans all the time, but I mean, we can't equate that. We can't equate. Really can't equate, especially in this, in the war that's going on in Ukraine. Or you really cannot equate the two. I mean, we all know that the Americans go around stirring ish, right? And yes, I know about the situation that occurred with Ukraine with the Orange Revolution. We all know, yes, the Americans had a part to, had a part to play in that. But to say that the Americans want to colonize Russia, or, I mean, colonize Ukraine is, to me, just wrong. Voices, you're on the air.
Hello?
Oh, hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Your last caller.
before they break in.
No, don't
Oh, my
laugh.
last caller. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you said. Okay, go ahead.
Don't laugh, because what I'm going to tell you, based on what he said, you don't believe it, no?
Believe which part exactly?
Most of what he said, especially about America and Russia. Listen.
Well, the colonizing part is a little strong, but I mean, I know the Americans are.
Oh, it is strong, no? You can't believe it, no?
No. I mean, trust me. I know a lot of the stuff that never gets on the mainstream news, and it would make most people's heads spin. But at the same time, we can't really equate the two poles, so to speak.
Why? Why not? What's the difference?
In a weird way, there's a difference and there's no difference. In a weird way. I think you know what I mean by that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, in a weird way, there is a difference, and in a weird way, there is no difference.
Yes.
Listen, first of all, whether Russia, America, as the case may be, all of them are the same. They're from the same root. The fight between Russia and America is more of a political one. And if you want to add economics to it, so if you want to say political, economic, what they have between one another. But when it comes to us, of a different root, their goal is the same. Right now here, you see Russia like they're moving towards Africa and getting their support and all of that. Don't let none of us be twisted, you know. Don't let none of us be twisted, you know. They know what is the Russians know what is going on in America and how the blacks are treated. And Russia is going to use that against America. It's not because they love us, you know.
Thank you, sister.
It's not because they love us.
I'm glad you said that. I was about to address that next, if you hadn't called.
Yeah, because who look at this thing? I mean, people need to understand why something that is happening is happening. Can't just look at the face value and because, they love us and they love us and... No. There's racial, there's political, there's economics, and there's religion.
Which is why I have a problem with the rash of pro-Russian African countries and some of them pretending to be neutral when really they're being pro-Russian. I have a serious problem with it because this is one of the reasons, and this point is one of the reasons why I said there's no difference and there's a difference, because while the Americans, they provide aid with all their strange conditionalities, like you have to have alphabet gang legislation and tolerance and all this stuff. We all know that the Russians, like you said, the Russians aren't exactly Boy Scouts. I mean, look at the way they're behaving in Ukraine. And to say that none of them are Boy Scouts, but to say that the Russians are people that should be glorified and supported in this rampage through another sovereign country. I have a serious problem with that, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, exactly.
I do not understand why African countries would be on board with that. Just because the Russians, like Kalanji, me and Kalanji have had discussions about this. Just because Africans have aided, quote unquote, have aided some of these African countries back in the days when there was apartheid and when the Cold War was in full swing. Mm-hmm. And we all know it has nothing to do with altruism and nothing to do with loving us.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's like they were trying to gain support to their side.
Exactly.
Right. The reason why they got involved was for a different reason. It was different. Everybody goes into something with their own motives in mind. Okay? I might get involved for this reason. Somebody else will get involved for some other reason. Right? This other person, I might side with this person, but this person is my enemy. But this other person is a greater enemy of mine. But I will side with an enemy because that enemy is an enemy of my greater enemy.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that I love my enemy. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right. That doesn't mean that I love my enemy. So from their end, that doesn't mean that we will be treated any differently.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean we think because Ukraine is a part of the former USSR.
And in fact, they're the same
and
people.
At one point,
it's something
their
like St. Kitts and
political
Nevis.
ideology was that they accept everybody, regardless of whatever. That's what was said. I think that was under the days of Lenin and so on. But a lot has changed from since then.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how those Africans were treated in Ukraine.
Thank you.
They were part of the former Soviet Union that should have shared that same ideology that they say they accept everybody. But you can now see that wasn't so. But it's because of this Cold War between them and the West. It's like a fight for dominance. Between them, it's not really race or anything, because they're all the same. But they're going to stay there and they're going to destroy one another. If you're going to read the book of Revelation, you see Revelation. I think it was another book in the Old Testament. But anyway, they talk about the bear,
which is Russia.
Dragon,
yes, dragon,
and the
China.
eagle. And you understand those countries that are represented. You know those symbols that stand for which country, right? You know that, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the bear, the eagle, and the dragon. And we are now seeing these things being put into play. They're coming, they're happening right before our eyes. But anyways, so don't let nobody, and this is the thing that I cannot get with some of us. Not because they smile or they come and they give information out there means that they love you. They have to give the information. The Bible itself says in the last days knowledge shall increase. Well, who has all the information hidden? So when the Spirit of the Most High or the Almighty declares, listen, this is the time for Satan to release what he has hidden, to give up. The belly of hell has to give up what it has in it. It has to come forth, so even if it has to come to the mouth of Satan. So because Satan come and tell you something that you know is true. I tell you, well, this is true. We had it as a lie. You're going to say, oh, Satan loves me? This is what we need to understand.
Yep.
Be happy that you get the information. But it shouldn't change anything. It shouldn't change anything. Because you're going to fall yourself in the same trap. You will be entrapped the same way like our forebears.
Exactly.
So take the information. Be happy for the information. But that's as far as it goes. That doesn't mean because they give you a piece of bread and they smile and whatever means that they love you. There's strategies behind all of this. In order for them to destroy, they have to come among you.
Or because
they can't come among you in a hostile way.
And as an extension, what you just said, I don't know if you know that the Russians forgave they forgave, I think it was about $2 billion worth of African debt. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And this was
2 weeks ago, you see that?
Yes. This
Just
was not
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and this was not reported on the mainstream news anywhere.
No, it may not be reported on the mainstream news, but listen now too. 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened before now?
Exactly.
What happened before now?
Precisely
So
my
you
point.
can see how strategic they are.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think I have said enough and I've kept up enough time.
All right, great.
You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Caller, go right ahead. Hi, caller, go right ahead.
Brother Jamster.
Hi.
Columbia again.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand how you reason now. If I'm supporting you for over 100 years, because remember, When Italy invaded Ethiopia in 1896, where do you think the Ethiopians get their arms from? Russia. I got to know this history. When Italy invaded Ethiopia in the Second World War again under Mussolini, it's Russia they get equipment from again. I got to understand what is going on. The Russian people or the Russian state have been supporting African government from since over 100 years. When the ANC launched its armed struggle against the apartheid system, the ANC got its weapons from Russia. You heard what Julius Malema said? The Battle of Kuta Carnival in Angola, when Fidel had to send his troops to Angola. Russia was against sending troops, but they sent arms. We got to know what is going on. As my English friend, I support you all the time. All of a sudden now I'm going to give you up for no reason. Come on, man, I got to know what is going on. And another thing again, my brethren, the Northern Europeans do not consider Russians to be white people. The war, what is happening in Ukraine is an ethnic war. They do not like Russians. They don't see Russians as white people. I got to know the history.
Come on now.
And you know, I'm telling you, they don't consider Russians to be white people. That's a historical fact. I got the information. I could show it to you. The problem with our people is that we don't know the European history. You know, since the 15th century, Russia has been invaded by other European countries over 20 times. Do you know that?
So we caping for Russia now?
Look, the point is there's your friend, they're helping you. That's how alliances are made. In the real world, all the technology that China got right now, where he got it from?
Well, yeah. Most of
the
it is...
technology that the United States took it over there under Nixon, because they feel that was a move in order to weaken the Soviet Union at that particular time. We got to understand the geopolitical situation. What is happening now is that the arrogance and the white supremacy of the United States is coming to the fore. Because the way the situation was before, we didn't understand it. Look at the whole situation in the United States, right? The Dred Scott decision say that the black man has no rights that the white man is bound to respect. That come out of the U.S. Supreme Court, 1867, the Dred Scott decision. You see what happened to George Floyd? Come on, man, wake up. The only reason why they take all this technology to China because they want cheap labor. And then the Chinese split into the game, but the Chinese don't smart them. We could do them the same thing, but we want to be like them. That's the problem. We got to wake up, brothers and sisters. You got to know who's your friend and who's your enemy. You can't bring Bible into this thing. You got to deal with the reality. What is mashing up our people is this love for this Bible that is this distracting us from the real truth. We got to acknowledge what is happening in the world, brothers and sisters. You got to know who is your friend and who is your enemy. The United States supported apartheid. Come on, man, wake up. The United States supported apartheid.
Hey,
and when
me.
the ANC had to wage war against apartheid, the weapons came from Russia.
There is enough culpability to go around, trust me.
No, I don't agree with that.
Nobody is
I do not agree with that.
Nobody is innocent.
If I'm your friend, I'm helping you. Right? You ever heard of Victoria Newland?
Yes.
Okay. Go on YouTube and type in Victoria Newland. You will see what she was planning to overthrow the government in Ukraine in 2014. And you can play for the audience so they can hear it. I got to understand what is happening. All these things that is taking place in the world, the United States imperialist forces is behind it.
So you would prefer to live on a Russian land?
No, I don't prefer. We got we own destiny. We got a chance.
We live
in all the United States hegemony.
Yes, but
what about the Monroe Doctrine? The United States government was down here telling us we must have our CBI program.
Yeah, and I have an issue. I have an issue with that.
Huh?
I have an issue with that. I mean,
Okay, you have an issue with we talk about it. Russia has never done that to us. The Russian has enslaved black people.
But I mean,
Come on, man, wake up.
all of our choices are terrible choices.
Well, no, you have to choose. Look at it that way.
You have to choose the lesser. You have to choose the lesser.
So what you want to tell me?
The least. You have to choose the least of the evils.
After the 1917 revolution.
If I know what?
The U.S. government invaded Russia after the 1917 revolution. You don't know that?
They invaded Russia?
Yeah, the Soviet Union after the revolution in 1917. You see, that's what I'm saying. We don't know these things. Look at Haiti. Look at it. Haiti invaded there, Russia and China. Come on, wake up, people.
Well, according to you, China. According to you, Russia's hands are clean. So okay.
No, you can't look at it that way. You have a friend you're working with.
So are they?
No. Let me ask you a question. The United States and the Soviet Union fought Hitler.
Yeah.
And you said, well, so what's the big deal? They could join together, but we can't join with nobody.
But they fought Hitler and then proceeded to at the end of the war proceeded to invade Germany and.
Germany invaded Russia. Russia losing 20 million people in the Second World War.
Okay, but then
losing most people.
But yes, but they used the war as a pretext to spread communism and to expand.
After the war, there was an agreement. That's why you had the NATO bloc and you have the Russian bloc. There was a meeting take place. Man, I mustn't set things out of context. You got to deal with history. When you think NATO was created to contain the Soviet Union imploded. So NATO should be disbanded.
No, but it's not as simple as that.
What do you mean it's not simple as that? There's no more Soviet Union. Come on, man. I got to get real and stop trying to hide behind the United States aggression. Look at Haiti. Haiti is a typical example. The United States government invaded Haiti in 1915. The Russian Revolution took place in 1917. There was no communism to fight. I mean, come on, man. Wake up. I mean, I'm telling you, the African countries know who is the friend and who is the enemy. So if our people want to stay with the enemy, it's up to them. And I already said, what Granny said. You got to know who is your friend and who is your enemy. That's what Julius Malema said.
But
so if our people want to side with the enemy, so be it.
But you see, the thing is, it's not as simple as anyone being straight up friend or straight up enemy.
Why aren't
you admitting that?
The point I'm making, right? Russia and the United States fight Hitler together. So if we got a problem with Russia in the future, we could break away from them. It's as simple as that. Come on, people form alliances. Right now, NATO is quoting India to join NATO. And NATO colonized India. Come on, man. I got to wake up.
NATO colonized India? Really?
Yeah. England is part of NATO.
Yes, but NATO was not around when England colonized.
Who killed Gaddafi?
The Americans killed Gaddafi?
NATO and the Americans.
Well, yeah.
And why they kill him? Because he wanted to bring the African dinar into being.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, I
know.
So
that we can have our own currency. So if they're killing all our leaders, what I tell you, they kill King.
Yeah, but
they kill Malcolm X.
But that doesn't bleach Russia. I mean, come on.
But they have never killed none of our leaders.
I mean, these are false choices you're presenting.
No, it's not false choices.
Just because the Americans do terrible things, it necessarily means that the Russians are pure as a driven snow. I mean, come on.
No. All I'm saying, name one African leader that Russia has killed.
I can't swear for that because I wouldn't put anything past them.
Because I've never done it. That's the point.
How do you know?
I know
You could check the history. You don't have to
Russian,
take it from me.
listen, Russian.
Who overtrained Kuma?
Russian, listen, I've spent hours reading. I remember when I was in college, I spent hours reading on the internet, reading declassified Russian KGB files, and some of this stuff was just eye-watering. Some of the kind of devious stuff. I mean, I wish they would put that kind of creativity and diligence into actually, into progressivism, into pursuing progressivism and maybe democracy and stuff like that. So I cannot say that they've never been responsible for killing African leaders, because they have been known to kill their own people as false flags to create pretexts for doing certain things they've done. I mean, listen, they killed one of Putin's minister's daughters simply as a pretext to redouble the bombing and the attacks in Ukraine. I mean, I can't put anything past them, and I'm not saying the Americans haven't done this, but I mean, come on. Like I said, weirdly, they're the same and not the same. So let me take the break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's tool season at Horsewood's Building and Nevis Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Don't miss out on the year's best time to buy tools. Get 25% off selected tools store-wide. Hundreds of tools on sale. Slash by 25%. 25% off on tools for this tool season at Horsewood's Building Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Horsewood's Building and Nevis Centers, the Federation's favorite home improvement stores. Some exclusions apply. See stores for details.
Horsewood's Value Mart IGA Easter Special.
Running April 6th to the 19th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tag Specials. Essential Everyday Tortillas, just $11.99. Yoplait yogurt, $3.99. Stone Ridge ice cream bars in time for the heat, $19.99. Planters dry roasted and cocktail peanuts, $14.99. Gold medal flour, $17.99. Essential everyday canned dog food, $7.49. And now our very low weekly
value deals. IG and essential everyday mac and cheese, $2.79. IG and essential everyday salt, $4.79. Peter Pan peanut butter, $10.99. IG and essential everyday cream cheese, $7.99. Essential everyday pasta, $4.99. Equaline mouthwash, $14.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sean listos y hagan sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
And we're back with our final 9 minutes. It's 1:21. Let's go straight back to the phone lines. Call or go right ahead. Voices.
Hey, good afternoon. It's me again.
Oh, hey, good afternoon.
Yes. What your last caller said at the beginning about Russia helping African countries, that's true. That is true. But like he said, we really need to wake up for real. Because what I'm saying, the West and the East, if we want to put it like that, their fight was won for world dominance. The West has one political ideology. The East has another political ideology. Both of them were fighting, warring each other for world dominance. Who first could go into space or on the moon, if that was ever so. Right? And whatever they have to do to play others against each other, they're going to do.
Yes.
Even if that means to reach out to African countries and black people, they will do it. But that doesn't mean that they love them.
Thank you. We're just tools and pawns. That's all we are.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Russians are Caucasians. They do not identify with black people. Okay? There was a man back in, I think, the 50s, 30s, 40s, around here, when they were into the socialism in America. They went over to Russia and so on. And it says that they came upon two tribes who were black. and the authorities did not know that they were there in Russia. One of the tribe, as he said, you could see that the leader of the tribe was black, but the others of them was mixed out. And maybe they are more mixed out now, so maybe they are no more, because since a lot of changes have taken place, they may not be in existence there in Russia anymore. The bloodline have now become so watered out. You can't identify them. They're more to the Caucasian side now. Has anybody ever really talked to persons who have gone, black persons who have gone to Russia? You think they are welcome there? As a human being? As a brethren? We need to understand the motive behind why they do what they do. We have, what should I call it, diplomatic ties with Taiwan, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But what happened when our representatives go to the United Nations? Don't they go there speaking on behalf of Taiwan, pushing Taiwan's interests?
They do.
Hmm? People use people. You understand? I do something for you because this is what I expect to get out of it. But somebody is going to go in making sure at the end of it they get more than what they give out. This is it. Africa is the land that everybody is grasping, they're going towards, because there's a reason why everybody is going to turn their eyes there. It has what they want. Well, maybe not. Well, even the others have. They need it still. They need Africa still. And we have to understand why Russia armed the black people against America. We cannot look at it and say that, oh, well, Russia loves black people because they armed them.
Exactly. It was all part
because
of
those same arms, a lot of black people were destroyed by them too.
Listen, it was like it was like the East and the West playing chess against each other, and we were just pawns.
Pawns.
That's all it is.
So we cannot sit down and say because they fight for us,
you don't
they
love
help this and they help that, means that they love us. No.
You don't have any.
People need to understand the reason
Exactly.
why they did what they do. They did what they did.
I mean,
there is a history that we need to know correctly.
I mean, it's
the
like
more Russia can get on their side against America, it's better for them.
Exactly.
But all of them are the same people. None of them relate to us. Even China. China is a mixed group. It's an ethnic group. Way back when, it's black people who are on that land. They're mixed out now. China does not identify with us as a people. In terms of recognizing, if people want to say they're coming out of us. They don't like us either.
Exactly.
We will be hated by all nations. Wherever we go, we will be hated by all nations. That's what the Bible says. We even hate our own selves because we are a nation of ourselves.
Prophecy.
Right?
Yes.
So it's support they're getting, the support they want. Not because they join with you and they give you means they love you. It's a means to an end. We're the ones who have to wake up to what is really happening. And dig deeper instead of just staying on this surface thing. And this is what is going to mess up a lot of us.
I mean, it's very simple.
Our thinking.
It's very simple. You don't have any particular affinity for any one chess piece on the board.
No.
Only in as much as that chess piece is going to help you make the next move and maybe the move after that, but you don't love any particular chess piece any more than
no.
And you don't.
And all of them,
exactly.
all of them playing the pawns and they're seeing first, they're aiming first to see who will checkmate.
Exactly.
So we're not supposed to allow ourselves. So I don't know why we should go in, and then if we realize that they change differently to us and they realize they start to behave differently to us, then we move away. You think it's so easy? These people are strategic. When they get you, they're going to make sure that they put you in a position where they control you. So even if you want to come out of it, you will die first. So I think this is a partnership. It's a partnership where you can move away if you want. Because even if you have businesses and you have partnerships, sometimes it's not easy to just move away because you have agreements and all that sort of thing. It's not easy to just come out of of some sort of agreement that you got yourself into.
Yeah. Okay, well said.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to understand the reason why all of these things are happening in the first place. Yes, they did help. And that is not to say we cannot say thank you and appreciate it. But come on, we are smarter people than this. We have to go deeper. We have to go deeper and understand why they do what they do. And as far as I know, you can correct me, Mr. Moderator, isn't Russia itself a part of Asia? It's not in Europe, right?
It's in both. It's Eurasia. It straddles.
No, Russia itself.
Russia itself is in
It's in Asia.
It's in both.
It's in both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think
And
most of it is in Asia.
Yeah, because it straddles a hell of a lot of land. I mean, it's the largest country on the planet.
I thought where Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, I thought coming down that border area there, I thought that is where, Europe ends. If you're going to go east.
The Baltic states. Well,
Yeah. I thought that is where the boundary for Europe ends. Go around there, back to Italy, go back up.
It depends. It's like, you're always gonna have, like, with these scholars, there's always debate. I mean, take for example, is it the Southern Ocean? Is it the Antarctic Ocean? Is it the Southern Pacific? They had that whole thing to where different camps would say, well, no, let's call it the Southern Ocean. Others say, why not call it the Antarctic Ocean? We have the Arctic Ocean. So it's kind of, yeah. So you have a point. I mean, Turkey is technically Asia, but Turkey is called the gateway to Europe because it kind of straddles, because culturally it straddles Europe and Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And even a lot of those countries over on that other side too, like Georgia, and I mean they're all white people, but technically it's Asia.
Mm-hmm.
It's Asia, but they're
Caucasians.
They're Caucasians.
So the fight between them, what is happening, the row between them is not a race one. It is more political, and it could be maybe religious, but but it's different ideologies politically, and when they're fighting for supremacy. So every one of them will go and play the black people, play the black nation.
Exactly.
You understand? That is why you see people like us in these parts. They dictate to us. And we are expected to follow what they say.
And we
also... They try to dictate to others, but others who have the might, especially the military might, what they call it, these things where they say North Korea have and so on. If they have the nukes and so on, then they will respect them. The West will respect them. But if you don't have anything and you're depending on them in terms of tourism and all of that, they dictate to you.
No, if you realize...
They can defecate in your face and they feel like you can't do anything.
Yes. You realize if Ukraine had been allowed to keep the nukes that were stationed there when they were part of the Soviet Union, this war probably wouldn't have happened. If Ukraine had decided that, okay, well, the nukes that are on Ukrainian land, they're ours, you realize this war wouldn't have happened. See how funny things are?
I really don't know. To me, this whole war would not have happened if it wasn't for NATO and the eagle that is pushing it.
But at the
I don't
same
think
time,
they expected it to turn out this way. That they
they
didn't expect it to turn out this way.
No, don't you think? I mean, when you consider the fact that now that since the war started, you now actually have a new NATO member. NATO is now 31 strong, and it will be 32 strong as long as Turkey signs off on Sweden. Now, isn't that interesting? That NATO was 30 strong before. most of these countries were shirking their responsibility to spend. They had a covenant that everybody had to spend at least 2% of their GDP on defense, and they weren't. Most of them weren't. The only country I think that was spending that may have been France and the UK. The rest of them weren't. And then they all drastically increased their defense spending when Russia invaded Ukraine. So for people to say that NATO is part of the problem, NATO is part of the problem, but not because I don't think that NATO is actively maybe scheming to colonize Russia, as Kalandri was saying. That makes no sense to me. You know?
Yeah, in a way, it makes sense. Maybe you wouldn't see it as that. But, I mean, if you are familiar with the Warsaw Pact, right?
The Warsaw Pact, yeah.
Yeah, right, the Warsaw Pact. Go back and read it again.
But you know that doesn't
because
exist now.
It's a broken agreement. Russia was trying its best to keep its, hold to its share of the bargain or the agreement.
But then all these countries that were part of the Warsaw Pact that joined NATO, nobody forced them to join NATO. They moved west of their own accord.
Yes, but at the same time, the West was not supposed to encourage it. All of that was part of the agreement. The West is the one who was pushing, to get all of these alliances, over there. Because the Black Sea, they were after that. I mean, the resources in these different European countries like Ukraine and all of that, they were after that, is to strengthen their hand against Russia and China and North Korea.
Well, I mean,
it's like putting themselves in blocks. So Russia realized what was happening and decided, hey, no, you're coming to close me. You were supposed to, okay, I gave up whatever I gave up for peace sake, but you're still pushing and you're still trying to get all of these people to be part of NATO. So you can now put down your bases if you want to, and you can use them as a springboard to do what you want to do to me over here. No, so I don't have enough defense or anything like that.
Okay, you might be right.
To me, I don't think it would really have happened if it wasn't for the West and NATO.
You might be right, but when you hear some of the rhetoric coming out of the Putin-controlled media in Russia, you would never hear people saying these kind of things in the West. You wouldn't hear people on.
And what comes out of the West, you will not hear a lot of the things that is actually happening on the ground, because what is coming out of the West,
that is true.
It gives the impression that Russia is over there suffering and they're so defeated and they're so demoralized.
That is true too.
But now people realize that that is not true, because that town where they call Bakhmut or whatever.
Bakhmut, yeah, Bakhmut.
Bakhmut or whatever they call it. That is a strategic port, and they say now, once that has fallen, and it seems like it has fallen because Russia has control of it. Now, as the president of Ukraine was saying, that is what he fears most, because once that town, because it's near the Black Sea, I think, it's open up, it's like a port, it open a gateway open to the Black Sea, and people need water, countries need water for transport and all of that. Once that is fallen and it is taken.
No, Bakhmut is near a river. It's not off the Black Sea. It's near. It's
landlocked. Not really the Black Sea.
No,
but it's near a waterway.
I think
it's near a waterway.
There's a river called Bakhmuta or something like that.
Okay, but it is a strategic town, and it is said that once it is fallen, Russia has free reign throughout that place. So we'll wait and see. You see. So right now here, what it is saying in the news, coming out from over there, not from Russia, mark you, there's this one they call Gravitas Plus. I listen to that. What is happening over there now is that Ukraine, they need more ammunition at a faster rate than what is provided by the West. And it seems like a lot of the Western countries now, they do not want to get involved because secretly they are still doing business with Russia.
Yes.
So Germany, Belgium, and all of them there. So there's a split right now here, there's a split right now here, even in those same European countries. So it is really interesting. It's a mess, but it's interesting. Anyway, I don't think we have time to really talk more on this.
We're actually out of time.
Right? Okay, and thank you again for tolerating my bantering.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
Okay, folks. Well, that's going to do it for today's edition of Voices. We'll have to continue this another time. And it would really be nice to have some actual like geopolitical experts to weigh in on some of this stuff and explore some of the deeper meanings of some of these goings on in the world. A lot of it we tend to be very facile about. We don't dig deeper. We just take things on face value, and if we don't know the history, I was talking last week about, a lot of people running away from history, running away from learning history. And this is this whole geopolitical mess we're talking about is a good illustration of how important it is to know history, world history, European history, African history, Caribbean history, just history in general. Because if you understand history, the implications of all of the strife and so on taking place now makes sense. And you know what they say, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. So yeah, there you go. So that's gonna do it for today's edition of Voices. It's 1:40. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for Island Tea and the spin cycle at 10 o'clock. We didn't really have any spin cycle today because I knew I was doing Voices, and so I decided I don't think people can take much more of me. I think 4 hours a day is enough. I didn't think I should be doing the spin cycle this morning, which is why I didn't, because I knew I was coming back to the Voices. So, but tomorrow join me for Island Tea, and I'll be joined by my hosts Azad and Candice. And of course the spin cycle after that from 10 until 2. This is Jamster saying peace, love, and fat peace.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Life is unpredictable. When a serious illness strikes, such as cancer, heart attack, or stroke, the Family Critical Illness Plan from Kuna Caribbean Insurance can provide an extra layer of financial protection for you and your family against out-of-pocket expenses. Select a plan that fits your needs and get up to $90,000 in coverage. No medical examination is required. Contact your credit union or one of their approved family indemnity plan providers to enroll today. To learn more, call 466-9453 or visit their website at kunacaribbean.com. Kuna Caribbean Insurance, for all people.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Our Kids.
Tune in every Saturday morning to Conversations with Our Kids.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this show. I feel like a professional radio announcer already. I am nervous and excited at the same time.
10 a.m. is Kids Time on WIN FM. Conversation with Our Kids.
I made sure to tell my entire family, my teacher, classmates to tune in. Tune in.
Conversation with Our Kids.
We're going to talk about education. education, religion, money, family life, social media, and other interesting topics.
This is a show for kids, created by kids.
Conversations with our kids.
Every Saturday morning at 10, only on WINNMedia.
Listen live on WINN-FM 98.9 or at WINNMediaSKN.com. Conversation with our kids every Saturday morning at 10, only on WINN-FM. Also streaming live at WINNMedia SKN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
The future is unknown. Protect your life, your family, and your valuables from unforeseen circumstances. Let National Caribbean Insurance give you the peace of mind that you so deserve. At NCI, we offer a suite of affordable insurance plans that can be tailored to ease your financial burden. We aim to deliver exceptional products to satisfy all your insurance needs. Whether life, health, motor, or property insurance, NCI has the right solution for you. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales professionals are ready and able to assist you. Let National Caribbean Insurance Company Limited help you to prepare for the unexpected. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
The days when you just come up on my cellular. If I'm the book, then you're the editor. 'Cause you know we always bringing out the